All right. The convicts, you guys have finally, after some trek out into the Margrave forest, have found, located, subdued, and conquered the mysterious, elusive, invisible beast that is unknown to you by name, but it is essentially a huge crocodile that was able to blend in with its surroundings and not be seen until Poppy had decided to grab a pebble. Lessons learned. So, I think what we'll do is, I mean, you guys can pick up from. You tell me what you're doing. Are you on your way back, or are you already back at the tower? What's going on?
Um, I'd say that we are back at the tower.
Mm,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
so that's gonna have to cover some things. Um, just so that way nobody goes, well, of course we did this, and then we have to get sassy about it.
Okay.
We know that getting sassy is bad for my heart rate.
Well, we
Um,
could just say what we think we did at
yeah,
the battlefield.
that's what I'm thinking. So let's so just to kind of make sure we're kind of covering bases, everyone can kind of um, give me in the order in which we have initiative, because that's just easier. Tell me something that we've done at the camp to make sure we either A, got everything we needed, B, double checked for things, any of those possibilities. And if you can't think of something at the camp, then of course think of something on the way back to uh, the tower. Um, if it's something that needs to get rolled, then we'll roll fuller. But Sin, we'll start with you. So, what is one thing that you, Sin, would absolutely no loading or cutting up the creature? I know was one of those things. But what's one thing that Sin would want to make sure gets done at the camp before you guys really just leave it?
Spin would have made sure that every single crate was opened and looked into to see if there was anything of worth.
Okay. Uh, as far as the crates go, yeah, there were definitely some considerable things. Like the crate that was opened by Prudence, that had the uh, that one armor in it. That was essentially one of the things that there was a lot of different armors and such in those large crates. Certainly valuable if sold. Um, and I would say you'd be able to bring back quite a bit of those in your cart if you wished.
Now remind me, when we find treasures while we're out on a job, do we have to bring them back to
So
uh
the that's a good question. So when you went to set it up for Yundler, it was to it wasn't to kill anything. It was to bring back valuables and such, right?
yes?
So you did that. Here it is. You go and you go and take care of the beast, right?
Hmm.
Um, these hobgoblins weren't part of the plan. These weren't part of the contract. So whatever is there is fully for you guys for the taking.
Oh, dope. Okay. It's a free loot.
Yeah, so
Love
Sin would have made sure everything was open because if there was any food or anything like that, he would have wanted to take that back to potentially give to some of the uh, children that are more impoverished in the town.
Okay. Well, so we're gonna figuring out what all is from the camp. We can I can come up. I haven't not come up with an exact list yet. Um, I can do that, and essentially give you the gold total that would be yours upon basically coming back to Zobek. Does that sound fair? Or
I'd
do
be
you?
down
Yeah,
for
that's fine.
I'd be down for a gold total if there's nothing that's like super special or magic or for any of us specifically.
Right. Now, understandably, anything you do find, just know that I am automatically factoring in the cut for the guild, because I gotta look out for the boy. None of you guys are looking out for good old Beckett. Yeah, right. So I'll figure that out. But you were trying to look through the crates, and if there was any sort of foodstuffs.
Yeah, I mean, because Sin, he spent a great deal of time in Zobek, just mingling with people. So he probably would, if he knew that he didn't have to bring the stuff back for Beckett, he would try to bring back any food for some of the more impoverished people of Zobek.
Sure. Okay. How noble of you. Tendy.
I think Tandy would be looking into. Damn it! I was hoping I had a little bit more time. I think Tandy would be looking to see if there's any like interesting hobgoblin like lore information that they can bring back. They definitely have one of those cool masks already, but I don't know if they would be able to find anything else here. I know most of it's destroyed, so
And this is on lore information on the hobgoblins.
yeah. I know
Okay.
you said that the monk hobgoblins were like quite different and not something that's typical.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe they'd be looking in to see like is there anything else that I don't know about hobgoblins that could be interesting or that I could bring home?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's certainly doable. Let's see here. Prudence. What's
My
up?
turn already, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What are those hobgoblin monks called again? Shadow?
Uh, as far as you know, or Prudence would know. You wouldn't know.
No, out
Um.
of character. I'm just making a note for myself.
Iron something.
Iron Shadow, right?
Iron Shadow.
Okay. I'm gonna say something, but if Poppy was going to do this, then you can just negate it because I'm just going before Skylar is. But I was really interested in that stone that Poppy seemed to have found. I was thinking maybe it was an egg of some sort out of character, so I wanted to investigate that. Otherwise, Prudence would look for something to bring back for Rava that she might appreciate, knowledge or something of mechanical interest. Um, Other than that, I don't think Prudence cares about burying the bodies of the hobgoblins, unfortunately. Uh, she would probably oversee Leofston and Sin working on the corpse to make sure that there's something to bring back for Victor.
Mm-hmm.
She also has an Iron Shadow mask that she took from the before battle.
Okay.
I can't really think of anything else that has to do with the camp proper. So yeah, if Poppy isn't interested in that potential, what I think is an egg, then that's it.
All right. Poppy.
Okay. I want to look around for like either some just cool knickknacks that I find interesting or medical supplies, whether that be natural or more arcane or just general medical supplies like kits that you would find. And then I'm also going to go over to uh, the creature and I want to sketch it out and kind of like make notes of what we do know about it so that we can give it to Victor.
Mm, for sketching the creature, can you roll me a performance check real quick?
Mm-hmm. A 17.
Okay. All right. Mara.
Hello.
Hello.
Mara is going to turn back into a centaur.
No longer a rat.
Yeah, can you please take rat off of me?
Yeah.
And then she's gonna thank Poppy and Wicket for their help. And congratulate the rest of the team on their effort.
Okay.
She feels a little bad for not being there, but
So you join them up there.
yeah. Well, yeah. I got up there right at the end last time.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So congratulating them, and what else?
Does she know what this creature is? Like, has she seen it? Is it native to like the or would she know if a creature like this was native to Margreve Forest?
I think there was previously a check before seeing the creature. But I think now after you've encountered it, go ahead and roll. I won't give you advantage because it is it's incredibly rare in Margreve, but I will let you roll a nature check for this.
I grab the right one. That's so tiny.
Okay. Yeah, it sucks you don't have a cleric in your party to cast guidance. I would say it is a very old name, and you only really know it by name because you've never seen one. But if it is like the keywords invisible, crocodile-like, and huge, bring up the Gbahali.
Me? How do I do that?
What?
Oh, I thought you said bring it up. Those words bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, to your mind, it means this must be a something you've heard of only in story and myth, but it is a Gbahali. I'll put the spelling in the chat for you and all. It's not Gaddafi, it's not Garibaldi, it is Gbahali. Or Gbahali, no D. Perhaps there may be older, wiser people to ask. In the forest, you know a lot of people who have been around for centuries. Whether or not you can convince your allies to make that trek, maybe not so much. But it is also possible that those stuffy humans in Zobek may have a library that may have a book on it somewhere. And so it could also be there if you might go looking more. But you at least have a name.
Okay, so now I know what it looks like and its name. Do I know that it's incredibly rare?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it, and then I'll help everyone. Well, I'm gonna ask Poppy in specific if she needs any help with anything.
Okay. So I'll put helping Poppy. Alright, and then I will ask Leofston what he is gonna do on the whole, like, for besides helping. To wrap up real quick, Sin, you and Leofston are just disassembling the beast, correct?
Right.
Okay. You are if I'm not mistaken from the chat, you are at least going to cut off the head, as cleanly
Yes.
as possible,
Mhm.
as well as skin its scaly hide.
Yes, trying to get a nice pelt.
Okay. What sort of tools do you have to do that? The skinning.
Currently, he just has his axe.
Just
So
the axe,
not
okay.
anything of not anything that would be worthwhile.
Okay.
But I've not visited. He hasn't visited the rags. Is it
Rag pickers.
rag pickers yet?
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna need you to make me a check. I'll have you do it here, just so we have it on permanent record. For the head, I think is relatively easy enough once you get the hide off. So I'm not gonna have you really roll but for that, but I am gonna have to make you roll a survival check to see how well this hide can be preserved in purposes that you might intend it to be.
Okay. Survival check.
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
We'll say you do have a point of inspiration.
I actually have 2 of them. But
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that
Remember,
exist.
yeah, for everyone, remember if your friends are rolling skill checks and you can help them, this would be
I'll do that. I'll use
good
a point of
time to do that.
inspiration for this.
Okay.
I don't think Prudence is really a helping character. Everything I think
Oh
of
my
is
god.
actually what
Okay.
Aruna does.
So first one was best.
Yeah, I don't think I have. What was it? Survival? I don't think I have. Yeah, I'm not too good at that necessarily, so I couldn't help.
No.
I mean, I have a +2, so technically I could.
Yeah, but
You have +6. Do you need help?
you also have bardic inspiration.
I do have bardic inspiration. Can I just use that? I thought I had to be in combat to use that.
No.
Oh, well, then I want to use that.
When because so it gives a bonus to attack rolls, which is only in combat technically. Could also be when you're trying to break down a iron barred door of a citadel, which is pretty fun. But
Or just a wooden door that's
or,
unlocked.
yeah, or just a regular door. That is unlocked. That's true. So it does it to ability checks, which are skill checks, attack rolls, or saving throws. So if you're at a table and somebody tries to drink too much and they're about to make a Constitution saving throw, you could be like, "You're not that drunk," and out of it's all of it can be out of combat if you wanted. So yeah, I'll since we learned that bit just now, I'll have you can go ahead and add we'll say that you added a d6 to Sin's survival check.
Yeah.
And then Sin, make sure if you haven't already, mark off your inspiration if you used it.
I used it. So
Okay.
add the 6 to which survival check?
It'd be the highest one.
Okay.
Okay. So 14.
Yep.
Okay.
We tried really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just have an axe. So.
You don't feel like it's your best. Maybe it's the rain, maybe it's the long day that you've had. Or maybe there's something else that's just not completely got your focus on it. You do kind of scold yourself a bit in your mind that you need to go to the Rag Pickers Guild and you've got to get some of these tools to make your monster harvesting a lot easier. And now, thanks to all the stuff you guys are finding, shouldn't be too hard to be able to have a good set of different tools for different needs to be able to do that. So I would say you did not. You you have it. You have the hide. It is not in any sort of sellable condition, but it is. I'm sure Victor could probably find some use for it.
Awesome.
So, okay. I will make sure to make a list of items and gold, and then this is assuming that, like I said, when we get back to Zobek, I'll give you guys everything. If there was something that you did want to purchase from Lyland, we can say that you went ahead and purchased it. That is going to take a little bit of prep on my part, and I will do that. I'll do that this week before the next session.
Did Lylan need us to look for anything while we were here? Or
Nope.
just deal with the threat?
Just the threat.
Okay.
So, all right. Well then, we'll go ahead and open it up. Start it off with you guys being at the or making it back to the tower. The body of the Gbahali is packed up and preserved in the supposedly preserved in the cart.
Mm-hmm.
And you are back.
Prudence immediately finds Lyland and Moss. It is done. If you require proof, it is out in the cart.
Oh, you some of you look rather worse for the wear. Is everyone okay?
Was a
We're
rather
all alive.
Yeah, he puts a kind of a covering, not a cloak, but just sort of like one of those robes that just drapes over the shoulders to kind of protect his clothes from the light sprinkling that's going on outside. Moss obviously does not care. They both go out. As they approach the cart, Lylan goes, any idea what it was?
Mara seemed to have some sort of idea, but it is as you spoke. It was invisible, huge, it looked like a crocodile. It ended up jumping off the cliff after we sort of pushed it into that choice. So it was intelligent. As intelligent as a creature who jumps off a cliff could be.
Well, maybe it thought its odds of surviving the fall would be greater than having the lot of you put it out of its misery.
Yes. I do apologize, it's not in one piece anymore.
He open up the back of the trail. He looks in and goes, "Oh,
Sorry for the smell.
no apologies needed.
It was too big.
Oh no, I can. My God, is that its head?
Yes, I think they did rather a nice job. We're going to hang it in the guild hall.
Oh, well, yeah, no need to. It's taken care of. I don't believe that there's any other way about it. Here, Moss, stay here for a moment. I'll go grab your payment. Are you? He kind of looks up at the sky. Are you going to head back, or do you wish to use our tower for staying the night?
If you would be so kind and gracious to allow us one more night of rest, we would be very thankful.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be one more night. It's just the one night. But yeah, most certainly, it's the least we could do to be able to help you, help us, help you. I'll go get the money. And they begin to walk back as they kind of move their hair out of the way, and it's as it's starting to get damp. Moss is just kind of standing there looking at the trailer and the beast until it gets closed, and he goes, Ah, rather impressive. Good work, all of you.
I have
Um,
food in my mouth, so I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's fine. I do that on occasion too.
Have you ever heard tale of the Gbahali?
Uh, Maybe when I first became an adult. They're not. I know that they're not a forest-dwelling creature. Um, but I believe the story I was told is that they prefer rocky places, as it helps them blend in a little easier. If the cliffs is where you said you found it.
Yes, that's correct.
We were
Uh,
standing right next to it, and I couldn't even see it.
Oof.
It was me and Puppy.
Well, it seems that may have been its temporary home, and what about the hobgoblins?
No, they're all dead.
Wow. Not only did you manage to slay this beast, but you also took care of the hobgoblins as well.
Ooh, are we gonna lie about it, group?
Yeah, we did.
No, we did not.
I mean, technically, we did.
It was definitely. What did you say it was, Mara? G- Garibaldi?
I've just
Gaba-
been calling him George this whole time. I think it's easy.
Gbahali?
Gbahali. It was the Gbahali. It did it before we came.
Do we know if some escaped? Should we worry about any repercussions?
I don't
One
think
of them escaped.
Mm.
And that's up to you to determine.
Well, I think it is possible to, with what Penelope and Ronnie have been working on. It'll take them a few more days to heal, but they were quite inspired by you and you all, and they have started to come up with different ways to defend the tower, at least from smaller threats. Now, if that hobgoblin goes back to wherever it came from and informed more, or wherever they reside, then I'm sure we'll see them eventually, or maybe they cut their losses. It's hard to tell. I don't speak goblin.
Mara does.
Oh,
Is there any sort of way you could contact us at a long distance relatively quickly? I don't know if we'd be able to get here quite fast enough to help, but perhaps as backup if needed, if we are not out on a mission.
I have made a request with my fellow ambassadors of Margreve, and I think that we will. While your offer is certainly welcome, I have sent word already that although these merchant towers were built in sort of a affront to Margrave, the beneficial to have them around and have them protected is beneficial, as long as the merchants themselves adhere by the rules that we ambassadors give them for the forest, and the travelers that make their way to and from between towers also follow those. So, animal, perhaps, raven would be probably the fastest, but it would might take you a considerable time to get here.
Yes.
But thank you.
Well, I am glad that you are bolstering your defenses and thinking towards the future. I'd hate to come back and see this place wiped out.
Well, perhaps maybe the method of delivery wasn't preferred. Your group brought up very good points. Lyland has understood that perhaps there's no point in having a tower if everyone here is to fall to the sword of a hobgoblin or foe. So there was a great lesson learned today.
I think on our part as well, we will definitely work on the face of our group.
I don't, you all have different faces. I don't know what you mean by that.
We could all have the same face if we all wear the masks.
I suppose.
Prudence sort of taps the mask that she has been wearing, hanging from her hip.
Well, you must have 6 of those then. 'Cause I count 6 of you.
I'm afraid this is one of a kind.
Well,
Tendy's
perhaps,
gonna make everyone masks.
then maybe it's not the end of you fighting against hobgoblins. He says, with no sort of foreshadowing to his voice.
How could he? How could he know anything?
He
He's
doesn't.
not connected to a disembodied
Yeah,
man.
yeah. He doesn't know a damn. He's a damn fool.
You hear that, Moss? You're a damn fool.
Well,
That was out of character.
that was
Who was that disembodied voice?
very hurtful and.
You gonna cry? You gonna cry about it? Okay, I'm done.
Wait, is that Jeremiah? Oh my god. How's the icebox?
Yes, icebox, is that what you said?
Lylan comes back. In short order, Moss goes ahead and bids you. He'll get some more tea up for everybody. While the disembodied voice drinks apple cider. And Lylan comes back with I'd say moderately sized sack of jingle-jangling coins. And he is not cool enough to just kind of toss it over. He walks up and, who should I give this to?
I'm the treasurer.
Oh!
Yes, Miss Honeyblossom will take it.
He squats down, puts his arms on his knees, and goes, well, I just finished counting them up about 10 minutes before you arrived, but here you go.
She takes the bag, kind of weighs it in her hand. She has no idea how to do it, but she's like,
Oh yeah, I think this is correct.
Make her bite a gold coin. Make her bite it.
It's chocolate. Oh my god.
Poppy is the best accountant anyone could ever wish for, to be honest.
Feels like 7 coins.
That's like 200, but okay.
In there you'll find the 350 gold for your services. I hope that it was. I'm glad to see you all back and relatively well maintained, from considering the fights you've had earlier with the hobgoblins.
Thank you, Lyland. We appreciate that.
I don't particularly know what you all prefer to eat, or if you have brought in food with you. But we could certainly prepare some stuff from our garden, if you wish.
You have any fresh fruits?
We have quite a few that Moss has been procuring over the last few years.
Let's make a fruit salad. Tendy would like to try proper Margreve forest food.
Yes, we will take you up on your hospitality. I personally do not eat meat.
Neither does Moss.
Me neither. Tendy wants to have milk, but Tendy was told not to. Oh, and no mushrooms, please.
What an exhaustive list of requests, but I'll do my best to accommodate.
Sorry, they have feelings. I can't have them succumb to that burden anymore.
They look for a moment and they go, Well, don't know if you've ever ventured to Triolo before, but we that is a city that is right near the coast, and we always had a plethora of fish and seafood, and many of the plants of the sea as well. Um, Unfortunately, being here in the middle of a forest, I have learned to accept its bounty that it is able to give us, um, but it is not quite the same. I'm not saying I miss it, but
Perhaps you should take up fishing. Is there a river nearby?
you know, it's possible.
I have never
Put it
had
in.
seafood, but I am not sure about the differences between sea and river. Perhaps it is similar.
Seems we are full of good ideas today. Well, I will prepare some things, and I'll make sure to cover all of that. I don't know if you need to. You're not bringing that inside, right?
The carts will preserve it.
Perfect. I will make sure that Penelope brings you some feed for your horses, and I will see you inside.
Prudence wants to talk to Moss one more time.
Moss went inside.
Can Tandy help cook?
Aw.
Sure.
Give her a little apron, please.
And I would look so cute in a little apron. Let me sew an apron real quick.
Yeah, you could be able to do that.
It's the tendy. Right on the front.
I will. I will say I'll post this menu. I will have you know that there are going to be multiple. There are certainly more plant-based options and non-mushroom-based options than he has. You don't have to worry about the prices though. So, but yeah. So cooking itself will probably take a couple hours for the amount of people that are here. Um, to pick the things, to prepare them, and then to cook them. Um, so this is sort of a free for all in this case. So whoever says they want to do something, we'll do something. We'll go ahead and start with Prudence. You said you wanted to talk to Moss about something specific.
Yes.
Okay.
So she locates Moss and leans casually against the wall. Moss, do you mind? Just a moment of your time?
I have to wait for the tea to boil before I put the leaves in. Sure.
She sort of crosses her arms and gives him a once over. Are you sure I can't convince you to work with our researcher?
I am flattered, and perhaps maybe it's how I speak make me sound more scholarly than than most others. But I don't want to leave the forest. I never have.
Oh, no, I would bring him to you.
Oh,
Perhaps there was a misunderstanding. No, I would bring him to you. Some field work, perhaps.
there's definitely a misunderstanding. Like, no doubt about that. It was 100% a misunderstanding. Bringing him out here.
Willing. Yes, I'm willing to work within your constraints, of course.
Well, I appreciate that. What sort of field work are you referring to?
She gives this sort of shrug. I'm sorry, I'm not a scholar myself. I am more of a, and she lifts her fists, fighter. I'm not sure what it is you scholarly types would do together, but I'm sure you could come up with something.
Oh, most of the time, it's just drinking and a lot of hmms and ahs. But you're have the trappings of a monk, and you didn't do any sort of knowledge-based things yourself?
See, there's like a shadow that crosses over her face. If you might have noticed, I'm a woman. I was left to more of the mundane tasks of the monastery. My writing is impeccable. The only
Well-
fighting I got in was with my. She sort of trails off, and anyway,
Well, that is city life for you. Your writing, perhaps you can put it to good use. If you could just write down, or make a copy from the book that I have of sort of the rules and guidelines of being an outsider and frequenting Margreve Forest. The difficulty, you come from Zobek, yes?
no, I don't actually.
I mean your group.
Oh, yes, that's where we are stationed currently.
Uh, there's been sort of a tension between those who run things in Zobek and the Margrave. For what you have done, I could certainly take you at your word. Do you believe that your colleague um, has the best interests of the forest at heart?
Her gaze shifts away as she really, really considers the question. She hasn't known Victor very long. Um, well, Leostin noticed that, not Prudence. What if I get back to you on that? What if I discuss it with him? Get more of a read,
Well,
and then perhaps I could send you a missive, and we could discuss the plan more over letters?
if you, I wouldn't want you to make a wasted trip out here just to copy. If you feel free to, he kind of points over to a nearby table with a satchel and a thick, not a thick, but a book kind of sticking out of it. If you wish to copy down what I have, what we typically advise all travelers through the towers of the Griffon in Margrave Forest, then by all means you can provide that to him.
I would love to, actually. Do you mind if I start right away?
As long as you don't mind the whistling of a tea kettle.
It's always nice to work in company.
He goes and grabs a couple of leaves off of a nearby hanging plant and puts them into the tea as Prudence begins to copy. No print and press here, folks.
Hasn't been invented yet.
Or at all. Does anyone else want to do anything?
Yeah, Sin wants to. He wants to go out in the forest, and it's mainly just to get away for a bit. But if he sees something interesting, he might forage a little bit for some tea ingredients.
Okay. The rain itself has let up. For sure. The warm sun has obviously began to set, certainly in the trees as well, the tree cover, so most of this is all dim light. You hear the various insects and nighttime creatures start to awaken and come around. So you look around for plants that you could be able to use for tea.
Yeah, anything that has a nice scent similar to the flower from before. But of course, obviously, if he sees another one of those, he's going to pick it up. But anything that he thinks might make a decent tea.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead and roll me a survival check, and this will probably take about an hour of searching. Ooh,
Yeah.
25. We know that Lee Austin will be coming back and listening to this, I'm sure. Hi, future Lee Austin. 25. You find yourself at a cave mouth. Following your nose and sort of the nearby flora and fauna, most of them are perfume type flowers, but you follow like a trail of clover that could be promising, but it leads to this cave that is it's quite small. It's about 4 feet high for the mouth. And there's some foliage that's covering it, but you don't hear or see anything inside the cave, which at least tells you that it is not a shallow cave.
Finn would definitely be leery of any cave, regardless of size. It would just bring back thoughts of the creature.
Okay. You want to keep looking then for tea leaves?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless he sees something, he might look into the cave, but unless he sees something relatively close by, he's not going to venture in, probably.
Give me a perception check. $19. You believe that you see fur laid out just inside the cave mouth, but it is flat on the ground. It is not attached to a creature, it seems.
You said fur?
Uh-huh. Like a deep brown fur. It almost looks black with this I mean, you can see it in terms of shades of gray with your dark vision. So you don't really know exactly without any sort of light source what color it is, but it is a dark color.
Okay, Sin would investigate to see if that was something ominous, being so close to the towers.
Okay, that's about an hour. Well, about half an hour or so. Okay, so you look inside.
Yes.
It looks to be a bear pelt.
That
Okay.
a bear pelt?
Yeah, come here. Yeah, bear pelt.
Okay. A bear pelt like
furs.
Okay, just furs? Just like somebody just left their furs sitting there, or like a
As if a bear with fur was skinned and the fur is left here.
who would just leave some pelts? He looks around.
Harder to see. I mean, you could see a ways into the cave. The cave is probably about, well, your dark vision goes what, to 60 feet?
Yep.
Okay. Inside the cave, you can see that this cave goes back about 30, 40 feet. There is a section that winds. It's quite out of your vision. And it seems like it opens up to like maybe it curves to the right a bit to open up into more of a section. But from what you can see inside of here, just grass clippings, wet mud, and maybe a few twigs and sticks, rocks,
Okay.
but nobody and nothing that you can see.
Finn would not want to steal something, so he's going to venture into the cave a little bit further to see if maybe there's somebody camping here, or
Sure.
but he's going to be stealthy about it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a stealth check. You'll try to be stealthy about it.
Yeah.
With a 7, you find that the rains did the mud in this cave no good, as there is sort of a slight downhill where the water had drained from raining outside. So your feet kind of through the mud just so slightly, but it does make an echo in the cave, just a bit. You get about 20 feet ahead when you start to actually see the remainder of the cave, and there's certainly water that has pooled at this bottom part of the cave around this corner. You can see dried grass, no bodies, but as far as it looked to be like maybe this may have at one point in time been a nest or a home for maybe this bear or other inhabitants of the cave.
Guess there's nobody else. These will pay decent pelts. Guess I'll take them back.
Yep.
So Sin takes the pelts.
As you turn around, you can see just outside the cave and the light itself from the sun. A good ways gone at this point. You see a large humanoid silhouette with green and gold eyes, crouched. And even crouched, they take up the entirety of this 4-foot-high mouth of the cave. Your best guess would be, at full height, this thing would be 8, 9 feet tall. But not large in terms of thick from Leofston's stance. Lean. This humanoid has horns or antlers coming from their head. And all you see is just the bright glowing green and gold eyes.
Finn is startled. Hello. I'm sorry. Is this your home? I didn't mean to. I saw something.
Arms reach into the cave and begin to slowly climb inward.
Are you the creature from the cave? Come to finish me off.
Now that this humanoid is inside the cave, you can get a better look of its features. It looks human. It is not horns or antlers on his head, but a crown of horns and claws that bend every which way. It's wearing a fur cloak that is certainly long enough to cover all the way down to his shins. Speaking of legs, this being wears deerskin leggings and strapped to its side or its back, you see a spear similar to, I think, one that you carry, right?
He carries javelins.
Okay. Carries a spear, but the tip of it is not metal or silver or anything like that. It is black. And again, this man makes no sound, no noise. It's just the same piercing eyes that stare at you, unblinking, as it makes its way into the cave even further. Another 5 feet.
I'll just be leaving. I don't want any trouble.
What are you trying to do?
Sin is going to give him a wide berth. He's going to walk towards the exit if he's allowed.
You begin to approach. And the being stands at its full height, which the cave cannot accommodate. But the forcefulness in which this being stands up fully, seeing you try to get by, creates a loud. You're almost certain that it would be like thunder. You were just in a fight with a storm, but it is instead just the sound of a massive amount of air that rushes in and blows past his robe, clearly just flying in front of him like a flag in a tornado. And you find yourself pushed back up against the cave wall, not in the wet part, but against the cave wall, where you hit your back and fall down to the floor, and you look up, and they're not there.
Okay.
As a reminder, I don't read the voice chat while you guys are chattering away, so I'll have to read it afterwards.
Then we'll slowly, while looking around, try to make his way out.
Okay. You take the pelt with you?
No, he leaves pelts.
Okay. As you head out, you kind of survey the area, I assume?
Yes. He's going to be on guard the entire time back.
As you exit and you look around, atop the rocks, kind of rock and grass, above the cave entrance, there is 5 to 10 feet away, up diagonally, there's sort of a flat area that has a wolf the size of your cart. Massive. This beast doesn't look to be in any sort of predatory stance or facial expressions, but it stands there with its blood red eyes just staring at you.
Right, buddy. Then we'll Sin has speak with animals. and I will use that now.
You speak with animals?
Mm-hmm.
What
That'll
do
be
you
the
say?
last. I say, I'm just going to. I'm going home. I don't mean you any harm. Is there something that you need?
The wolf does not seem to understand how you're communicating with it. It cocks its head to the side.
Okay. I guess. I guess I'll just go. You can have the forest, and you don't have any worry for me. And Zen backs up.
You back up into the chest of the 9-foot tall man in furs and crown of horns who does not move an inch, and just looks down upon you. With the spear sort of as a staff, holding it there.
It's you. I left the pelts. I wouldn't take those.
He
It belonged to me.
leans down to where you're probably about 1.5 feet apart, face to face, bending mostly at the waist in a very tomfoolery, creepy fashion. But this guy is taller, obviously, and this is when his piercing eyes begin to, his brow furrows, his eyebrow raises. You are not him.
I'm not who.
He gets closer to sniff. Do you allow him?
He's not but moving.
Yeah. He's not moving other than basically his torso and his neck and his head, but he doesn't seem to do anything with the spear or any otherwise, but he does get closer. You're wearing a cowl?
Yes,
Right?
because it's raining.
Okay. He probably takes the tip of the spear and undoes the cowl. And... You are him.
I'm who?
He stands back up.
You what do you mean?
You are weak, pitiful, unfit for the hunt.
I didn't know I was supposed to be hunting.
You don't feel it inside you.
Oh, I am like to learn, but I'm still pretty new.
Pretty new. How long are you going to use that excuse?
I don't think I understand what you mean.
You don't remember who you were, but you remember that you were, yes?
I mean, yes. I obviously would have been. Didn't just manifest.
The wolf comes down from the side of the cave top and joins his side.
But you know who I am.
The question's more, do I want to anymore? I know you. I knew you. But this, he looks you up and down. This perfection is wasted.
Wasted.
You are a hunter. You hunt. You give and get blood. And what have you done since this? What have you done about those who did this?
I've just recently been told that there was experiments, but I'm not sure that I'm this person that you're talking about.
He, quicker than you can react, reaches for your arm with your imprint on it. And the force in which you grab doesn't hurt, but it does kind of brush your cloth back to where your name is visible. V Sin 19-R.
That's the tattoo. You know what it means.
This is who you are now.
Yes.
Drops your arm.
I'm also a convict.
He ignores that comment. You were promising before this. And now this was given to you with my blessing. And you throw it away to traipse around, not seeking to do anything about this. And instead, he reaches into his robe, pulls out a bag. Instead, you look for tea. And he chucks the bag at you. It's very light, doesn't hurt. Seems like leaves. You're not ready.
Ready for what? I don't know what I was supposed to be ready for. I don't even know who I am.
You're not ready to know.
I don't know who you are.
Take a good look. Maybe the next time we meet, then you'll know. But I want you to make sure. Is this... He kind of points back exactly at the direction of the tower. Is this what you really want?
To work in a guild?
A life of monotony, always wondering, but never having the balls to actually do anything about it.
I have nightmares.
They'll continue.
You're saying that you're responsible? That you were part of this? That made me into...
Gods are part of more than any mortal could be able to comprehend.
Can you at least tell me who you are? I am...
He scratches the head of the wolf next to him. The wolf is also pretty large. Again, size of the... At least 2 Buick stacked on top of each other, but the size of your cart. Maybe with a little more backbone, then you'll know. I don't spend time on weakness. I chase and crave power, violence, and blood. And you see the wolf kind of, from a sitting position, leap up to all fours, which startles you for a second. And you feel, as you kind of wince and close, like kind of afraid back a bit, there's a brush of fur against your forearm and wrist, and a whoosh of air, and they are gone. But at your feet is the bag of tea and that belt, bear pelt.
Thank you. Guess.
You wanted tea, man.
Orson.
You gave him tea, but you didn't even let him get the real tea, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, well,
Jen takes his stuff. He looks around, probably longer than you normally would, just every direction, and probably does so every 5 feet on the way home.
yep. I hear you. I don't blame you.
Hey, Jordan, just real quick.
Yeah.
Forum check on Sin's daddy.
You're not ready.
Am I ready?
Guys,
No.
it's a trick question. He's a 1.
It doesn't matter how big the forearms are. He's kind of a douchebag.
Yeah.
And not like the, I can change him kind.
Like,
You
it
haven't
was
read
definitely
enough
man.
spicy novels. You can change them all.
I certainly haven't. I've only read
Fuck
like
yeah,
6.
Jamie. Jamie and I are on bad daddy train right now.
Bend them to your will.
Oh my God.
Oh, so are you guys going to be writing the fanfic then?
Sorry, Skylar.
I had something that Poppy was gonna do, and it's very opposite of what this this energy was.
Okay, well, what were you gonna do?
So I was gonna go up to like the top floor of the tower with Wicket, and I was gonna say,
Okay, so you know how like you pray to gods, right? But like, what if I can just like communicate with them via pray and then like talk to my mom? You know? Do you think that would work?
I don't know. She's pretty busy.
Well, I mean, leave her like a voicemail.
What's a voicemail?
I just invented it just now. It's like something that she can listen to later.
I wish there was a way for me to do the complete, like, voidless eyes and, like, small circular black mouth that Wicket has, but,
just put a bowling ball on the screen.
yeah, just, like, get a filter, change my face to a
I was gonna
bowling
say,
ball.
we gotta make a filter for you.
Go get a paper plate.
Yes.
I don't have any of those, actually.
It's in crap time.
Time to do crafts.
Let's stop right now. Get me some glue, some scissors.
Give me an old priest, give me a new priest. What do you need to talk to her for?
Well, I mean, she's my mom, and I just feel like it'd be cool to talk to her, even if she doesn't really reply. I know she wants to see me on my birthday, but that's a long ways away.
Is it your birthday today?
No,
Is it your birthday tomorrow?
No,
What about the day after that?
no. And you know that they would just go on, so let's stop it there.
3 hours later.
you know, that actually is my birthday right there.
She said what she said. And if she meant it, it'd be best not to go against it.
Yeah, but how do I know if she meant it if she's not the one who told me? How do I know that I can even believe any of this? She sent some other guy who gave me weird soup and scarred me for life with the soup.
I made sure to hide in the kitchen that there was no mushrooms.
Good.
Oh, looking out for it.
I
The mushrooms are sentient joke.
I don't think it wise. You've already spoken to her twice.
Twice? Twice? But I haven't talked to her before.
You have.
When did I talk to her? Did I do like subconsciously?
A wicket flies over and lands on your sickle.
No, that's really? Wait,
That's what.
is
That's
she my
what.
mom? That's what?
What's what?
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 Mara,
Who's on first?
What are you talking about?
well, you landed on the sickle.
What
The
about it?
sickle, I got the sickle specifically from the person giving me the powers, but I don't think that's my mom. Is that my mom?
I mean, who am I to ruin your truth?
That's very deep.
He nods though and he goes, that was your mother.
So I did see my mom. Why didn't she tell me?
Twice. You've seen her twice.
Yeah, I know, but why didn't she tell me? And she kind of freaked me out multiple times. That doesn't seem like a mom thing to do. Well, but, I mean, maybe moms are different in the Feywild.
He thinks for a second, and then he kind of sits on your shoulder, and his head does that weird, like, Think back from where you are now to that moment.
To which one?
the first moment with the
The
woman and the sickle and the river.
Okay.
Would you have been able to handle it?
A random person coming up to me and saying, "Hi, I'm your mom." Um, honestly, I might have believed it. I believe a lot, though. I was in a rough place then, so maybe not.
You ever know when you feel like you know somebody better than they know themselves?
No.
I feel like that a lot. And he flies away.
But, like, would it be that bad if I just told her about my day or something?
You're left alone with that to ponder. Do you want to do that?
Um, in should I want to like roll something for it? See if I know better.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't have a particular challenge rating or number or whatnot that would be in mind, but what are you thinking? Because I mean, rolling something for chance, you can do that all on your own. I don't have any skill or ability that probably would help other than maybe just a general wisdom roll.
Instead of that, I think can Poppy just try to take some time to remember her childhood? Like rather than talk to her mom now, try to remember her mom back then.
You want to go into some repressed memories, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I need to remember an insult from years ago anyway, so
Ch-
like
childhood trauma. Childhood trauma. Okay. Sure.
is that a roll or is that just I do it?
Yeah. You spend a bit in the where you're on the top, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The air is pretty calm. It's pretty quiet, other than obviously the insectoid creatures, the locusts, obviously this time of year. You know, we all love those. And you try to remember using those, you know, the quiet and the sounds of the forest. And you remember being pretty happy and content. You remember playing with other kids. You remember doing, like, going off to obviously do things not any fairy is supposed to be doing at that age.
What did I do?
Oh, I don't know. Probably graffitied a tree. I'm keeping it vague so you could fill it in. But one thing that you do remember is you try to focus on family and the various holidays that get spent, and it's harder to remember. It's as if maybe you tried to block that part out as much as possible. But you can, at the end of it, you can remember your father and your grandmother, but not your mom.
Okay.
The details about her are incredibly just a big void of unknown.
Poppy's dad is a human, right? Right?
It's a question for Poppy to answer.
I don't remember.
Maybe
I
I'm
was gonna
thinking of
go back
something
and
else.
take notes from the recording, but the recording got messed up, so I don't remember most of the information.
That's probably just something I'm making up. Never mind, forget me.
Yeah, I mean, I need reminding just as much as everybody else does. So, because I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise I'm gonna improv whatever comes to mind, and then that may not necessarily be it.
Poppy sits there for a bit, a little confused as to why she would suppress the memories. What happened that made her not want to remember? Or was it not even her that did it? There's no way to tell right now. So Poppy gets into her bag and pulls out some paper and her quill and ink and starts writing out a letter to her mom, which she likely won't ever send, and her mom will never receive, but it gets stuff off her back at least.
And that's all I wanted.
Okay. Moss actually at some point goes up to and asks for a moment of Mara's time.
Can he meet me outside?
How about that?
Can he cash me outside?
Yep, he can meet you outside.
Okay. I'm standing by the edge of the forest where Sen went in. Okay, so he walks up to me.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Moss.
Hello, Mara. Um, I don't know how long you may have been away from the Margreve. Has it been very long?
It has not, though it feels like a lifetime.
I assume your group, on your quest to go here and there, hither and thither, that you will eventually need to have passage coming through the forest.
Yes, I would assume so.
How do you feel about this?
I've asked them to leave the forest as it is and not to disturb anything and to leave creatures alone. I'm having a little trouble with the first one. They don't seem to listen, and they are not children, so I cannot order them around. But for the most part, I think we can handle it. They seem to be a respectful group. Um, I just hope it doesn't cause any issues.
I don't think that they would cause enough damage to the forest. The good thing about nature is how full of life it is. If you were to pick a flower, sure, at the moment the flower would soon wilt away and the forest would lose a bit of its beauty, but within that flower there are seeds. And if those seeds travel with the flower, it could very well spawn new life far from where it was meant to be coming from in the first place.
Yes, that's very true. I do worry that my biggest concern is that they may get into something or find something, and they're not aware of the magic that the Margrave Forest can hold, and they may get themselves into trouble rather than the forest.
Well, that is true. From one denizen of the forest to another, could I make a humble request?
Of course.
Are you familiar with Castle? Just slightly to the northwest here of the Shadow Crag. Did you say something?
I said I'm trying to decide.
Hmm.
I'm somewhat familiar with it. I don't know much about it.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Why don't you roll me a history check with advantage? We'll see now that the name is mentioned, maybe if there's something that sparks some familiarity. $19. Castle Shadow Crag. You recall from a story, not first-hand experience, unfortunately, but there was about 90 years ago, Castle Shadow Crag had become vacant or disused. Whatever, they say that there was an alliance of Shadow Fae and humans, and that about 90 years ago, it had dissolved. The humans, those names, some names you remember, such as Stross, Stross. They were originally those who ran Zobek when it was first founded. There was a rebellion. The village that was below the Shadow Crags burned down essentially, and there were stories of rebels from Zobek hanging the men, women, and children of House Strauss from the battlements, and they say that the castle is absolutely haunted behind its black stone ruins. And that is what you remember.
Who did you say it was? The humans versus who?
House Strauss. Oh, even the Alliance?
Oh, it was
The Alliance originally 90 years ago was between Shadow Fae and humans. But then in Zobek's uprising to get rid of the tyrannical Strauss family, there was a rebellion in which they had stormed the castle and hung the men, women, and children of the Strauss line that were there. And since then, obviously, the place hasn't been used. That
when you say they, you mean other humans?
Mhm.
Or okay.
Those who fought for the freedom of Zobek from the tyrannical oppressor of the Strauss family.
Are they actually tyrannical?
Guess that depends on who you ask.
Okay.
But he looks to you for an answer, asking if you recall anything about Shadow Crag.
Okay, I relay him this information.
Seems about right. Oh, not to stir the pot or anything, but Seems another ambassador of mine between some of the towers have noticed a shift in the ley lines. This happens quite frequently, the shifting. And if you're unfamiliar, it's where magic is at its strongest. But it seems to have crossed paths with the castle, and those, well, if it is truly haunted, perhaps be prepared for rumors and such with your guild about supernatural beasts or beings, perhaps, as they may feel emboldened by the forces of the ley lines.
That's an excellent point. Thank you. Um, Is there anything else I can help you with?
I don't know if I can take much stock in this, but I have a intuition or a gut feeling, as they would say, about you, but I could not put my finger on it. I know that's information of no information, but
Is it an ominous feeling or a joyful feeling?
no, I wouldn't say it
Do you
was
feel
ominous.
hopeful?
More of a force of nature intrigue. Again, I'm not quite good at explaining things. Your tiefling friend, Prudence, wanted me to be a cohort or a colleague to one of yours at the guild who does a lot of research. I struggle to find myself understanding of why someone who has just met me wants to take so much stock in an individual such as myself, when there are more capable people out there. But I digress. It's more of it's a good feeling. It's not a bad feeling.
I can't speak to Prudence's intentions, but I'm sure they're on the good side. I'm sure she just sees something in you that you haven't seen yourself. Good God, Jordan. Are you hydrated?
You bet your ass I am. I'll do one more for good measure. Perhaps it is. There are many differences between elves and the more shortly lived races, perhaps. They have a remarkable ambition. That could be because your lives are significantly shorter and you wish to get more accomplished in a short amount of time. But I don't think anyone realizes how long elves can live for and how that changes your perspective on things when you live a long time. I, of course, wouldn't presume your age, but I assume you weren't around when Shadow Crag got pillaged?
I was not, no.
I'll say no more then. Hopefully you'll find well, have you found purpose with these with your trek to Zobek, or perhaps with your compatriots?
I'm not sure that purpose is what I would call it. We have gone on a few adventures, but it all seems to be for material gain at this point. And that's something I'm less interested in overall. I went to Zobek in hopes to persuade the people to refrain from encroaching on the forest any further and to keep it protected. And that is all my desire is. That's a bad sentence. I enjoy the company of this group, but at present it has been more an enjoyable way to fill my time than anything of purpose.
Sometimes we
I-
need those moments.
Yes, I do hope to find a greater purpose with the group. Maybe we can achieve some great things at some time. But my first purpose, my first priority is to protect Zobek and my family and the creatures that reside in it.
You mean Margrave Forest?
Yes, yes. Margrave
That's
Forest.
exactly what you said. I don't know what the recording
That's what
says.
I said.
That's what you said. 100%.
There was a
I don't-
glitch in the Matrix.
Why would you just superimpose words into her mouth like that?
Yeah,
I'll catch it in post.
sorry.
No, you're good. Well, perhaps I'll leave you with this. While it is good to keep focused on your aspirations and goals, spoken from somebody who has certainly done that from time to time, you will wake up and find that there are years that just pass you by, and you don't feel like you have really stopped to enjoy them. So, take your don't be too hard on yourself if you get caught up in the antics or the revelries that your group enjoys.
Thank you. That's very kind wisdom and a good thing to focus on. I think you should consider Prudence's offer. I think your knowledge would be very helpful to whatever she's after, and I don't think what she's after is evil in any sense.
I didn't get that sense
Or
of
ill
evil.
intended.
Yeah. She does cross her arms a lot, though.
Yes, she does. She has been elected the leader of our group. And I think she's taken it to heart, and she's a
Perhaps
very stern person.
perhaps I could have Lylan cross his arms from time to time when other caravans show up, so they're not as so they're more imposing.
Yes, it's a good power move, I would say. She really carries herself well when she crosses her arms.
Good. Well, getting rather late. There's still more tea and there's desserts. If you wish, I certainly didn't make them, but I shall be taking my rest. I wake up rather early in the morning.
Finn kind of rushes by both of you.
Oh no,
with
you
a
don't, bitch!
bear pelt and a package of Earl Grey.
You stop when you see me.
Oh my. Well,
Oh, Sin, hello.
Are you all right?
Hello. Yeah,
Who's stammering?
saw some things to Forest. I'm just gonna go inside.
What did I tell you about venturing out by yourself?
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. I'll go check up on the lad real quick. Good night to you, Mara.
Good night.
And he heads back in. he just makes sure that you're not like literally shaken out of your clothes, and then he does go to bed.
Why would I be shaking out of my clothes?
No, he's talking about Sin.
Oh. I was like, first of all, I'm only wearing a shirt.
Hell yeah, Donald ducking it.
Donald ducking it. Can't take my lower half off. No horse pants here.
Okay. Well, unless there is any other matters that anyone wants to tend to. Tandy,
Huh?
was that a cough?
Yeah, because you left Tendy behind.
No,
Yep. Oh shit, we gotta go get her.
I mentioned people have to speak up if there's a pause. That's why
Oh,
was
I
giving
thought you were
opportunity.
just going in order, since you were
Mm-mm.
just going in order.
Nope.
Then Tendy wants to cook, as mentioned previously,
Okay.
as per my previous email.
Alrighty. So you. I don't know why it's not recording the desktop audio anymore, but hey, if the music stops, wah, sorry, too bad. Okay, so you go into the kitchen and you're helping Lyland prepare a few things.
Yeah.
It's got a very old ratchety stove, and a couple of stone countertops, and obviously many things hanging from hooks that are not drilled, but hammered into the stone at certain points. You wish to help Tendy?
Yes.
Oh, excellent! I can appreciate a good pair of hands. Have you cooked before?
No.
Ah,
Tendy has made sandwiches.
oh, sandwiches are a delight. We have some bread. Trying to think of what could go. Have you ever made an egg sandwich?
No.
Oh, oh. He grabs the bread and he grabs a nearby light wooden bowl that has a couple of speckled eggs in it. And he goes, well, we'll need to heat up the bread and toast it. Most of the times, I always have to ask if people want it toasted. But we all know that the real answer is that everyone wants it toasted, and if you don't eat bread toasted, then you're a criminal.
Damn straight.
Tendy likes toasted bread.
Excellent.
Tendy is a convict, but this is different.
I don't understand the convict thing. Could you... convicts are people who are in jail. You are clearly...
Yes.
You aren't in jail. None of you are.
No, but Tendy and friends was in jail.
You all named yourselves after admitting that you were in jail?
One time Tendy and friends was in jail. Tendy does not remember, but Tendy and friends drank too much. And this is how Tendy and friends became friends.
Hmm.
Now we're called
Tendy
Tendy
did
and
not.
Friends.
Tendy did not pick the name.
Do you all commonly take one particular instance and make that your whole personality?
Oh, yes.
What's the name of the person I'm talking with again? I should know this.
Lyland.
God, I kept being like, Lestane. Lestane is the person.
Lyland should hear about forearm checks.
Oh, looks down. I know half of what you say. What's a check? Like inspection?
Yes.
Oh. He breaks the eggs and begins to fry them up as the stove was obviously still hot from the kettle that Moss was boiling earlier. Well, okay, here, hold on to this part. This part won't get hot. It's made of wood, so the heat from the metal won't actually channel into the wooden part of this. As long as you don't touch the metal, you're fine.
Mhm.
I suppose before you leave, I could ask about these forearm checks. Yeah, you want to know an interesting story?
Yes.
Tandy looks pupils massive, so excited.
So speaking of, you see the pen that you are holding, correct?
Mm.
Now, you are familiar with the arcane and magics and such.
Sort of.
There is a spell that I've only heard about it. I've not really been able to. Well, I'm not very magical myself. Never quite had the knack for it, but I have seen, at least with my eyes, that there's a spell that takes the fire and the heat from that fire and it stills it within the metal platings of armor. And if you can imagine, if you were to take this pan off of the stove and place your bare hand against it, you would burn yourself, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It would certainly hurt, and you would probably take what some people would call the equivalent of some hit point damage, whatever that
Yes.
is.
Yes.
But imagine if you did that to somebody wearing armor. It takes them ages to get out of a full half plate or full plate armor. They could end up taking a good amount of pain if they are obviously doing up to no good and are in fact deserving of such painful remembrance of why wearing metal is bad.
Yes, most people Tendy knows is not needing this thing. But Tendy has met a few people who maybe are not good and this would be useful for.
Yeah. Well, if I don't know what they call it, I'm imagining it is something to do with heating up metal, but the hobgoblin fight brought that to mind. That I can imagine it would take them quite a while to remove that armor and maybe take one of them completely out of the picture. If you could, and he starts to kind of cut the bread with a knife. If you could, one doesn't have to be magical necessarily to be able to use certain items that are magical. Do you understand what I mean?
Mhm.
If you happen to come across a wand of that spell, I would more than likely pay you more than it's worth in order to have that as part of our protection for the tower.
Yes. Tendy can try to do this.
Excellent. Well, if you forget it, it is fine. It just reminded me of how useful that would have been, and we certainly need to find a few ways to get this place in a little bit more organized shape.
Tendy thinks Lyland's job is very difficult.
Why do you say that?
Lyland has a lot to think about. Tendy does not think too much outside of history, and Lyland not only has to think of prices and selling and manufacturing, but also protecting people and in the middle of kind of nowhere, and that is very impressive. Tendy knows some magics, but Lyland knows a lot of brain magics.
Well, I appreciate that compliment. Thank you. I don't quite manufacture as much as you might think I do. But I guess that you put it in that perspective, I do seem to do all right.
Mm.
You have inspired Lylan without using bardic inspiration.
Yay! That was the intention.
He helps you learn how to scramble eggs, and he shows you how to make a I'd say probably about on a scale of 0 to 100, about a 60% good quality egg sandwich. Good thing that that mayonnaise doesn't exist in this world.
No, it absolutely doesn't.
Yeah, get it out of here.
Andy accidentally spills oil and vinegar in the mayonnaise and tastes it. Wow, this is delicious, she says.
Tandy remembers
Get outta
a
here.
story of a famous wizard named Taco. Tandy must now discover mayonnaise.
But yeah, so you help him cook for a bit. Was there anything else you were wanting to mention to him? To them?
Can I give a pointless one?
Sure.
Tandy exchanges the story about heat metal for the joke of like why their name is Tandy. And then as they are cracking the eggs and making these egg sandwiches, and they just keep jokingly going,
Tandy is not related to this one.
Lylan finds some joy out of that. And he helps you make some salads and such for those who had requested it, and gives you a fair, if not a little bit more so than fair, share of the credit for cooking the meal.
No hairs in this meal.
Andy does not need to wear hairnet.
Tandy
Tandy
guaranteed.
does not wear hairnet. Tandy guaranteed.
No hair or your money back, and I need to cast prestidigitation again.
no.
All right. Well, you guys have a good meal. Good discussion. I'd say Sin's probably a little shaken, not stirred.
Tandy Mixture Sin has like a giant fruit salad to make him feel better.
Oh no.
Fruit salad.
Now the
Yummy,
song's in
yummy.
my head.
Oh god.
What has Tandy done? No.
I did my time. Now you can mark off that part of your bingo card.
And I want out. Oh shit.
All right. Well, you guys enjoy the comforts of a long rest. I believe I had already given out the 350 gold in that parcel. Has anyone decided on who wanted to have Corpse's piece? The ring.
What does it do again?
Man, it's a super good ring too.
You need to remind me about the items in this game, because you just told us we got items in our last game, so I'm getting them confused.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to enjoy keeping track of that. That's why I don't.
I remember Prudence wanted the Band of Intelligence, but that's all I remember.
Since it's not recording audio, I'm gonna go ahead and do this song for the reading of what the Corpse's piece does. All right, looks like Corpse's piece is a ring. The rarity is uncommon. This delicate marble ring was created by the Ironcrag dwarves, who battled the ghouls and vampires of the duchies in the Gristle Marches. When you slip the band onto the finger of a corpse, it protects the body from decay, and the corpse cannot become undead as long as the ring remains on its finger. Days the corpse spends wearing the ring does not count as days spent dead, effectively extending the time limit on spells such as Raise Dead. Back to you, Johnny.
Remind
Can
me,
I
did
have-
it have a thing about 1 hit point? I feel like I recall. Is that this game or the other game?
That's the other game.
Okay, never mind.
Can I have the ring? Can my undead warlock have the undead ring?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I see no problem with it.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
Seems icky. I'd have to touch a dead
Yeah.
person.
Poppy
I
looked at the ring.
do.
It was shiny, mine.
I do remember Jordan telling me that I could not put it on the body of the animal we just killed.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I also remember that.
Well, so you guys enjoy your long rest, and we are getting close to the 2 hour mark. So I want to double check. The goal is to
Go home.
go home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely go home.
We gotta
Um,
get this corpse back before it gets even more rotten.
okay.
Since we can't put a ring on it.
We didn't like it enough.
It wanted to be strictly platonic, which I can appreciate.
Exactly. Do you guys
Like the fetish
remember?
it's complicated.
Why'd you
I'm
have to go?
dead.
Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? So does anyone remember how long it took you guys to get out here?
Wasn't it
2
like
days?
3 days? 2 or 3?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure it was several days.
Okay. So it is now obviously the 5th of Harvesttide. Just as a reminder, the potions of healing, the 3, right, that it came from the potent orange citrusy flower,
Mhm.
those do expire in about 5 more days.
Hmm.
Just so you guys are aware.
Even if they're put into the preserving chest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Even if I
I'll
was
just
good
get
with
her
salt
on the
work,
way.
Even if I was given $1 million and 2 years of not having to work.
Quick, everybody join Prudence's Fight Club.
Let's all just fight each other right here, right now, and use it.
Do they disappear when they expire? Do they turn sour and into poisoning kits?
Oh, that's cool.
Jamie, you're on your way to be a DM.
That is a pretty good question, to which I can only say okay, yeah, just to reiterate, I think it was 4 days. I will check real quick, but I will say as I'm measuring this out, Mara, you are given something by Moss upon leaving.
Ooh, a gift.
Seems
Just
like the boy's sweet on you.
something he said his intuition said to that would help, and it's not like it's very obvious. It is firewood.
Firewood.
Green firewood, in fact.
Ooh.
And
Does it burn for a long time? Does it burn for a long time?
No. It's from like a newly maybe a newly felled tree. And a bottle of elven wine.
Ooh.
Oh, 2 bottles, because there's 6 of you guys. Sin would drink a whole bottle by himself. Are we kidding?
I'm not sharing with Sin. He keeps going in the forest and fucking around.
Let's drink it again and then go back to the jail to see our friend.
Back to jail.
Back to jail.
Back to jail.
The convicts are at it again.
Oh, convicts.
You burn green wood and drink. You burn green wood and drink elvish wine. Right to jail.
I like to imagine that the only crime we ever do is just drink too much and get too rowdy.
That's fair.
We don't do anything else.
Okay, so it's about 100. Let's say it's about 100 miles from where Zobek is to where the Griffon Tower is, which is true. It's about 105, but who's counting? So that was it's a 4-day trek for you guys. Assuming that you guys go at normal pace, you have no reason to hurry, I guess, or do you?
No.
Yeah, because you have
Slow and steady.
the preserving cart of preservedness. So that would be another 4-day trip back, assuming that every day was 24 miles, which it is. I don't know. Jamie, would you be well, we could probably start off the next one with maybe what happened along the journey, like we did on the way here.
Yeah, Prudence is
I
gonna
love
wanna
that.
give all this stuff to Victor when we get there.
Sure. So okay, so yeah, when we start next week, a few things to prepare for. Prepare to be back in Zobek. Prepare to get filthy, stinking rich off of selling whatever it is you guys were selling. And I'm gonna need Poppy. I'm gonna need your help making sure that everything is accounted for and whatnot.
Okay.
I'll try to get that to you in the next day or so. Mm.
Jordan, we need to think of those weekly things again, like we did last time. Like Prudence went to a fight
Like
club.
downtime.
Yeah, downtime. Thank you.
Oh, downtime. Yes. Yes. I think that might be towards the end of the session. Depending on, because again, it's 2 hours long. So I want to see if we can get some of the stuff in, get the interactions done, and then yes, but I would plan for maybe what you would want to do given if you had 1, 2, 3, 4 or so weeks of downtime.
Well, yeah, I want to plan and think about it.
There is definitely some surprises in store when you get back to Zobek.
Ooh.
It's gone. No, I'm kidding.
You say you're kidding, but one of these days I know you're gonna do that.
So you come around the corner and what city were you going to again?
Mara's like, all right, job here is done.
One in the books.
Mission accomplished.
So yeah, so think about that. Mara will have something special for you towards the beginning of the next session.
Oh, I'm so nervous. Okay.
Because you are the last person to potentially meet your godmom or dad.
He's making a mom.
But that is going to be it for us. I'm going to stop the recording.